Good morning, friends. Let's sing some hellos. Hello to my friends. Hello to the families. Hello to the teachers. We're glad to see you. Hello to the children. Hello to the grown-ups. Hello to the babies. We're glad to see you. Hello to the cats. Hello to the dogs. Hello to the lizards and the birds and the fish. We're glad to see you. Hello to everyone and everything in the whole wide world. We're glad to see you. Let's make a pattern to sing the months of the year. We're going to do head, shoulders, clap. Here we go. January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. Let's speed it up a little bit. Here we go. January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. Super speed! January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. Nice work, friends. Well, today is going to be the last day that we spell April this year. It is the last day of April. Let's spell it out nice and loud. A-P-R-I-L. What does that spell? April. Say it louder. April. Say it quieter. April. Let's clap it. April. Let's roar it. Roar, roar. Let's quack it. Quack, quack. Let's croak it. Croak, croak. Goodbye, April. See you next year. Goodbye, April. Goodbye, April. Goodbye, April. We'll see you next year. We've been doing a lot of recycling activities this week, and we looked at the recycling symbol that went like this. It was arrows going around, usually in a triangle, but sometimes you see how they just keep going around and around. Sometimes you'll see that also in a circle. And that's kind of how we get this idea of cycle, going around and around. In recycling, we have the cycle of something being made. Maybe we'll say a jug of milk. We drink all the milk, and we send our milk jug to the recycling center. We'll put a big R on it for recycling center. And they melt down the plastic, and they clean it, and they mix it up with other plastic, and then they turn it into something new. And with some things, this keeps going around and around. Now, I turned it into a bench here, but they might turn it into another sort of plastic container, maybe a ketchup bottle or something. And then it would get used up, it would go back to the recycling center, and it would kind of go around and around like that. So I wanted to talk about another cycle today. It's called the water cycle, and we all know how important water is here on Earth. Water that's down here on the Earth in our lakes and rivers and oceans gets evaporated up into the sky. So that's when it turns into water vapor. moisture in the air, and it rises up from the earth until it gets up to the sky in the clouds, and it mixes with the other parts of the atmosphere and the dirt and the dust that get collected up there, and it turns into these big giant rain clouds, and then the water, it cools down and comes back down to the earth as rain. And it may land anywhere, maybe on a big mountain, and then it goes down the waterfall, and then back into the rivers and the oceans, and it just keeps going around and around and around. It is the water cycle. And I have a couple neat projects you can try out at home to explore the water cycle on your own. I have my water cycle in a bag experiment all set up here. Oh, sorry, this is where my cats eat. So hopefully they don't mind. I'm using their space. Excuse me, Francois. I just used a regular Ziploc bag. I added some decorations too, just for fun. And then I put some water in here, just regular tap water. I added a little bit of blue food coloring, zipped it back up, and I just used some strong packing tape to attach it to the window. So now we have to give it time to do its thing. And what we should see happening after a while, I see some clouds passing by right now, so I don't have a lot of sun at this time. But as the sun shines through my window and warms up the water will begin to evaporate to the top of the bag. But as it cools down at the top, it will turn back into liquid water and rain back down to the bottom. I'm going to be setting up my second experiment right here next to it, and we'll see if we notice any difference or what happens. Mommy. And for the water bottle water cycle experiment, I use a water bottle. I decorated this one too. You can see I added some clouds and some raindrops. Again, that part is just for fun. But I put just a little bit of water in the bottom, similar to the plastic bag, a little bit of blue food coloring, and now I'm going to flip it upside down into this glass here. So on top of the water bottle, I'm actually going to add a couple of ice cubes so that it's, I think only one fits. And we all know that ice cubes are very cold. So the sun will be warming the water in here, but when it gets to the top of the bottle, my ice cube will be making it very cold, which should maybe speed the condensation. I'm gonna take a little break. I'll come back in a little while and check on my experiment. This is about 30 minutes after setting up my water cycle experiments. And if we look very closely, can't tell if it's coming through on the video, but there is some condensation starting to form. There we go. If I tilt it this way, you can see a little bit the moisture on the inside of the bag here. And on the water bottle where we added ice on top, you can really see it. Look at all that water collecting. Oh, and I just saw a drop go back down. There we go. You can see it collecting on the top, forming droplets. Let's see if we can see another one fall down. How many tiny, 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 look, you can see the tiny little drops. How many teeny tiny drops do you think it takes to make one big water drop?
8.
8 teeny tiny drops?
Yeah. Or 100.
Or 100? A lot, I think.
Yeah, it maybe will be 100.
All right, we'll come back and check in another 30 minutes and see what has changed. Now it's been about nearly an hour since I set up the experiment. And you can see, I can see from here in real life a lot of condensation on this bag. I know it's a little difficult to see it through the video, and definitely a lot of condensation inside the jar. I noticed though that it is not super sunny here today, so that might be one thing to note. And the window in my other room gets a lot of sun late in the afternoon, so I might set up the same experiment out there later on and see if there's a difference when it's very sunny and you know the sun is creating extra warmth, or if everything stays the same.
Daddy.
I moved my experiments to the other side of the house, this nice sunny window. You can see the sunshine coming in. Hopefully the cats won't knock over the water bottle. You can see they like to play in this window. And when I moved the bag, actually the water kind of clung together and formed some droplets that came down. I can feel the warmth of the sun from here on my hands. And similar thing here, some of the water came down when I moved it. Oh, Frankie.
He doesn't want to.
We're gonna give this some time to sit here in the sun, and then I'll come back and check on it and give you the update. It's been about an hour since I set up the project. Probably more than that actually. There's Francois, he would like to come back inside. Let's take a close-up look. You can really tell how the water is collecting on the bag, and I'm just gonna give it a little tap, and you can see the droplets running back down. You can see I put another ice cube on top, and you can see, again, I'm going to give it a little tap. Oh, it's really hanging on there.
Mine.
Here's the final update for today. I actually closed the curtains earlier, so my projects were just trapped in between the curtain and the window, and you can see they really collected a lot of condensation. The water has been evaporating up out of the bottom, and then the gases cool, change back into water, and they start to, well, the tiny droplets start to come together into larger ones. Look at the other one too. If they were in a cloud, they would start to form raindrops. Thanks for joining me today, friends. Let's sing some goodbyes. Goodbye to my friends. Goodbye to the families. Goodbye to the teachers. We love you. Goodbye to the flowers. Goodbye to the birds. Goodbye to the bumblebees and the turtles and the frogs. We love you. Goodbye to everyone and everything in the whole wide world. We love you. I love you, friends. See you soon.